Y'all, I keep getting on these "Are we dating the same guy" websites and just seeing all these comments and all these men up here, and all I can say is thank God that they have not done that to us, because whoo, they'd be like, red flag, she's crazy, red flag, red flag, red flag. Thank the good Lord that they don't have the energy to do that like we do.
Him, her, him, bodies.
I would tend to agree with you there, Colleen. If men actually got themselves together and did like a page saying, "Are we dating the same girl?" Oh boy! Would some double standards and hypocrisy be exposed that day. But sleep easy. It won't happen. Why? Because there are too many simps out there who won't do it. And the players who do it really don't care to match up. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna smash and dash. Why? Because most men have a philosophy when it comes to dating women. She's not my woman, it's just my turn. And that's probably the biggest difference between men and women, because women feel possessive about a guy. He's gotta be mine. No other woman can have him. How is that working out with the Chads and Tyrones again? Oh yeah. It resulted in a Facebook group to find out if somebody else is writing the same sausage on the carousel. You identify the Chad that you're sharing out as the master spike layer, then you figure that spike can only be drilled into one hole, as if you owned it. Good luck with that one. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
I just got added to a Facebook group and it's called "Are We Dating the Same Guy?" and it's like the area I live in, and I can't breathe. And I can't even screenshot it because I'll get kicked out. But if you have one in your area, please join it. The comment section does not disappoint. It is amazing.
Alright fam, this right here is a prime example as to why young men aren't dating anymore, and also why older men aren't dating anymore in the West, specifically in the US. And it's this exact attitude. It wraps it all up very nicely. Number one, she said that she got added to a Facebook group where women are just blasting away talking about all these guys. In other words, they don't keep stuff to themselves. Young men today that date, they know that their stuff is going to be put on blast. And number two, as you can see, it's funny to them. Anything that these young men do, anything these young men say, even if they are not dating the same guy, women just laugh at. And then again, when channels like these are created, and basically the men here do the same thing, they're just labeled misogynist. Yes, ladies, this is one of the primary reasons young men and older men aren't dating you anymore. Because you blabber too much. You don't keep confidential things confidential. You're a security risk. You've been found guilty of dating treason. You've been sentenced to ghosting with a follow-up of being alpha widowed. Moving on.
Real reason why most men keep beautiful, sexy, gorgeous black women single is because a lot of them are intimidated by beautiful, sexy, gorgeous black women, especially if they're accomplished, right? A lot of men are intimidated by you, so they window shop you. They window shop you. They just look at you through the glass. That's it. They admire your beauty, but they'll never really approach you, right? There's something called your beauty is basically overqualifying you. It's overqualifying you to get the husband you want. Not every woman wants a husband, but there are women who do, right? So I'm just saying, like, for the beautiful, sexy, gorgeous women, black women who are accomplished, men are not going to approach you. It's going to be very hard for them. Very. And if one does approach you, and if one does give you a chance, he may try to sabotage the relationship because he wants to humble you, right? He's going to want to humble you.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
All right, Colleen, in your own words, you said that men, and I'm assuming you're talking about black men, are intimidated by accomplished, beautiful black women. And they're not going to approach you because it's all this intimidation. Like, OMG, you black women just walk into a room and immediately all black men go into intimidation mode. Now, you do understand when you intimidate someone, that means that they're going to do what you want them to do because they're intimidated by you. Them not dealing with you is not intimidation. It's just plain old they don't want to deal with you. And you did say that the men are going to try to sabotage the relationship because they're going to try to humble you. Okay, let me come at this from the gentlest possible way. You see, I'm pretty sure that these beautiful, accomplished women have several traits that they don't want to deal with. And these beautiful, accomplished women will have other sayings. They'll say, hey, I need a man who can handle me. And most of the men in that community, they don't want to handle you. I mean, sister, you have to understand. I don't care if the man is white, black, brown, yellow, red, you name it. One thing that most of these men have in common is they don't want to handle nothing. They don't want a headache. They want peace at home. Now, I'm not talking about the perfect and imperfect ones. I'm talking about in generalities. Most men just want nice, quiet, peaceful time at home. That's number one. And number two, when women like you believe that they're 9s and 10s, they demand 9 and 10 treatment from every man. And a lot of men are just deciding, hey, you know what? You're just too high maintenance. You're just too much of a headache. The juice ain't worth the squeeze here, honey. I will gladly take a 5 that don't give me a headache over an 8 that's going to constantly be bashing me.
They're intimidated and jealous of beautiful, gorgeous, sexy black women, right? So you might be the one having to approach a man. You might have to do more work than most of the women that are not so qualified, you know? I'm just saying, I'm not trying to put no one in a box. Men put women in boxes. So I'm just saying, like, a lot of men are intimidated by gorgeous, beautiful, sexy, accomplished black women. They're intimidated by you. So you might have to do the vetting on your own. You might have to do the picking. You might have to pick a man, approach a man on your own. And if that's not your thing, you might just have to consider that you'll be single forever or for a very long time. Men are just going to look at you. That's it. I've seen it for myself. They just look at those women, keep them on their social media, or even look at them, and that's it. Never approach, never date, never marry.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, wow, we have another jump now. So the black men are jealous of the black women, and now you're saying that you, as a beautiful black woman, are probably going to have to do the approaching to the intimidated black men. You know, I find it awesome how queens like you just decide to totally ignore things like science and statistics. Oh, what am I talking about? Well, this gorilla did some research. And let me tell you, according to the National Census Survey, for every 100 black women, there are only 88 black men. Now, that's nationwide. If we want to break it down by regions, we have some other numbers here that are pretty interesting. For example, in the census taken by the American Community Survey, take the racial breakdown, it's still the disparity because in Atlanta, according to the 2023 American Community Survey, for every 105.6 women, there are 100 men available. That's of all races. And it's not just limited to Atlanta. In Baltimore, it ranks even higher with 107.2 women for every 100 men. And in Philadelphia and New York, it's 105.5 women for every 100 men. So yeah, they're in shorter supply, and you're the one who's competing for them. And not just that, there are other reasons why black men and men of all races won't approach women. The system is set against them. I'm sorry, but in most cities, a woman can destroy a man pretty easy. All you have to do is pick up the phone, call 911, and make up an incredible story saying that you've been SA'd. No evidence required. They'll send a cop car over to pick him up, and then it's on him to prove his innocence, which is going to cost him. But hey, you black, beautiful, accomplished women can get yourself a beautiful, accomplished cat to go for a beautiful, accomplished glass of wine. Moving on.
22, I dated a guy who was 29 years old, and all of his friends who were female, and I think this is important because I don't know if male friends would have said the same thing to him. So his female friends, they were 29, 30, 31 years old, and they would tell him, they were like, what are you doing? She is so young. She is 22 years old. I had just graduated college maybe like 3 weeks before I met this man. This man was a homeowner, and me, being a know-it-all 22-year-old, I was like, I'm not too young. I was going into that home and I was like rearranging kitchen cabinets, and I was like, I could just be a little housewife. And I look back on that relationship, which ended in flames, right? And now that I am 30, right? So I'm around that age that he was. I am that age that he was and his female friends were. And if I had a friend, a male friend my age, who started dating a 22-year-old, I would have said the same thing. I would have said the same thing. And this isn't about like age gaps and like, oh, you know, you don't have, like, I'm not against age gaps, okay? But I am against someone with a fully formed prefrontal cortex. And it's been formed for a while. Someone whose prefrontal cortex has been formed for years, dating someone who it is not formed. I was 22. My brain hadn't even fully developed. I was so naive and so ignorant. And at the time, I did not like his female friends. I was like, they just don't want us to be together. They're just jealous because I'm young. And it was awful.
Squeeze me? Oh, no, you dick.
I'll tell you something there, Colleen. If you aren't against the age gaps, then why make it the center subject of this video? I mean, yeah, you're right when you said that those other women were actually kind of jealous. I mean, they were his friends. They weren't dating him. And you were already an adult at 22. You made your choices. Just because the relationship didn't work out doesn't mean that other relationships that were similar didn't work out. They may have worked out great. Oh, and about that the fully formed frontal cortex excuse / argument. Yeah, that stuff falters at around the same time the argument of other important rights can be taken away for that same reason, like the right to vote, the benefit of having credit cards, or simply purchasing your vehicle because your cortex isn't formed enough for you to make such a large financial decision. Oh yeah, let me guess. You can pick and choose when that cortex argument is valid, right? Save it, sister. And the reality is that you are now the same age that his female friends were. You basically just swapped. You used to be the young girl dating the guy who had a house and everything, and he upgraded your life, and you went to the right about to smash into the wall jealous older women who are not dating that guy, are not married, are not having a superior lifestyle. And guess what? When you turn 40, you'll be saying the same thing about women who are 30. And so on and so forth. It's a cycle with women. I mean, let's come at this from another angle. If it was an older man saying the same thing about a younger man, you women would say, oh, you're just an incel. You're insecure because this younger man can get a hotter woman than you can. I guess with female nature, the boundaries of hypocrisy get kicked out some, doesn't it?
But I am so grateful for them and like realize now what they were trying to do, because I would do the same thing. I was not ready to be in a relationship with someone who was almost 30, a homeowner. All of his friends were around the same age. We had nothing in common. It wasn't going to go anywhere. But the hard thing about being young and not having the full, brain that you're supposed to have yet, I didn't see it. And I feel like there's still these arguments or conversations over like, yeah, but you can like love who you love and date who you love. And it's like, okay, have we not learned from Queen Mother Taylor Swift? Have we not heard her songs, right? Could've, should've, would've. Are we not picking up on the fact that it is so awful that it's a universal experience for all of us women between the ages of like 19 and 24 to just date much older men and be taken advantage of and then end up heartbroken, only to grow up and fully form our brains and look back at the situation and be like, that was messed up. That was messed up. And I was in a situation where there were other women who were trying to tell him and me that it was messed up, and I just couldn't be told. Luckily, it ended. It went on longer than it needed to. But I think back on that relationship and I think about like me now and him now, and it just gives me, I'm just slightly grossed out that it happened and I couldn't be told at 22 years old that it was as disgusting as it really was. That I was being as manipulated as I really was by this grown man.
Oh wow, now that she's at wall smashing age, she is grateful for the jealous harpies showing her a glimpse of her future self? And at 30, she's taking relationship advice from Taylor Swift songs? I ask, is it really a wonder why young men aren't dating these gems anymore? Sweetheart, when you are an adult, you live with the consequences of your own choices. Regardless if they were good or bad, you're gonna get your results, period. You can't run to mommy and daddy anymore, asking them to fix things. Nope, this is grown up you handling an adult business. And please stop making excuses and blame shifting this over to, oh, well, I was taken advantage of. I was manipulated. I was just so immature. Yeah, blasey, blasey, blasey. See if those excuses are valid when you take a guy to family court and take him through the circus of that. And can he say, well, she manipulated me. She took advantage of me. Nope. They're going to say, you're an adult. You made your choices. These are the consequences. Dan, Colleen, what are you going to do? Are you going to blame planet alignment for your bad choices as well? Grow up. And I got some advice for you, Colleen. Why don't you stop looking at the past and look at the very near future? You're probably going to see a bunch of bricks coming at you real fast. It's called the wall. Pretty soon you'll be smashed right through it. And your head will be sticking out the other side, kind of like a mounted deer. But I do agree with her. She was very mature at 22. And it seems that she's equally mature at 30. And it's no secret that there are plenty of single mothers her age that give out these excuses to their children when she misses out on time with being with them when she's out dating Chad / Tyrone. What is this gorilla saying? That's also men's fault, especially when she brings her kids the new present of a new sibling and the difficulties of collecting that child support money.
Now that's a lot of damage!
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.